Hi, Watam here, and welcome back to Small Higurashi When They Cry. So yeah, when we left off, we're probably going to be kidnapped at some point and then eaten. Fun.
まさか冗談だろ
I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke, even now, that was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitake-san and Takano-san had died in a common way, like a car accident, I could tell myself it was a coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil, in the mountains. The two deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as a mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us. Some sort of cruel will is working behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near for Shion and I. That's why I argued against it. I argued, knowing I was running away.
大地そんなの新聞に出てないぞそんなに奇怪な事件なら絶対に新聞やテレビで報道するはずだろう雑誌記者とかだって面白がって大勢来るに決まってる
マスコミに報道されないのは当然なんです過去にそうだったから
When the incidents occurred for the third year in a row, there were some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy, where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media.
村長とかあと園崎家出身の金バッジが警察に思いっきり圧力をかけたんだって聞いてます
じゃあつまり二人の死は秘密裏に処理されてしまったということか
そういうことですもちろん警察は捜査をしてますよでも秘匿捜査ということなので捜査活動にはかなりの制限が加えられているそうですこれは事実上の捜査妨害と言えるでしょうね
Yeah. The story was unbelievable. People died, and yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret.
もっと噛み砕いて言うと綿流しの夜に誰が死んでも公にはならないということです
そんなバカな話があってたまるか
ケイちゃん私以前にお社様のたたりは村人が起こしてるかもしれないって言いましたよねつまりそういうことなんですこのひなみ沢では毎年綿流しの夜にお社様のたたりということにして誰かを殺してもいい土壌がいつの間にか作り上げられているんです
When someone dies on the night of Watanagashi, it turns into the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse turns into the serial murder incidents. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma surrounding Hinamizawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret.
バカな毎年死者と行方不明者が出るんだろいくらマイナスイメージって言ったって警察にも限度があるだろ
毎年の事件が不可解って言うなら警察も本腰を入れられるんでしょうけど何しろ毎年の事件は個別に解決してますので連続事件という形にならないんですよたまたま毎年綿流しの晩に不幸なことが起こる
It just so happens.
それだけのことに
And unfortunate. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to stay away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was, in essence, resolved. The damn supporting couple who died in an accident on the second year, well, that was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. In the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. They concluded it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. In the 4th year, the sister-in-law of the dam supporting couples was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulants usage. He confessed that he thought Yoshiro-sama's curse was so interesting he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while imprisoned, so this incident was essentially resolved as well. Just so happened to die of an accident. Yes, that's right. None of the incidents had any relation to another, and each was independently resolved.
なのになぜか毎年綿流しの晩に不幸な偶然が起こる。連続事件にしたくても連続にならないんです。それでも毎年必ず誰かが死んで誰かが消えていく。
The story Takano-san told me of the day before during the setup. Now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off.
じゃあ俺たちも狙われるっていうのか。毎年一人死ぬと一人が消えるように富武さんや高野さんの道連れに消えさせられるっていうのかよ。
My lips had, at some point, become completely dry, and just saying that was difficult. Tell about Mion and Oi-san. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me.
俺たちそりゃ確かに入っちゃいけないところだったかもしれないが見ただけだぜ。何かを盗んだり持ち出したり見たことを誰かに喋ったわけじゃないんだぜ。
I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomitaka-san and Takano-san deserved such cruel
第
deaths?
一俺はあんなの見ても全然面白くなかったし高野さんが見て一人で大喜びしてただけだろ。悪いのは高野さんだけだよ。俺は全然関係ないぜ。興味もないし関係ないしあの中にあったものだって知ったことじゃない。
And you saying so wouldn't resolve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self, in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop them anymore.
俺はもともと興味なんか全然なかったんだ。イカちゃんの演舞を見ていたかっただけなんだ。それをシオンが勝手に連れ出したんじゃないか。
Don't blame it on Shion now. You're in it together now. You have to be, right?
あの二人が泥棒しようが何しようが知ったことじゃない。そうだよ。そもそもシオンが中に入ろうって言い出したんだ。ケイちゃんは見ておく必要があるとかなんとか思わせぶりなことを言って中に引き込んだんだ。どうしてくれるんだよ。俺は全然関係ないんだぞ。どうすんだよ。どうすんだよ。どうやって責任を取ってくれるんだよ。おい聞いて。
Click. Without any warning, the phone cut off with a soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Shion was just as terrified as I was. I just said some really self-centered things. My riled up emotions disappeared as if they'd never existed, and in their place served waves of deep regret, having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I could try to call out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Try calling her. Apologize. Anyway, Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I went to call her back, but then I remembered she lived in Okinomiya. I didn't know her phone number. Oh. Since I had declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. I was stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand, and I simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me again. Ring, 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 ring.
もしもし、前原です。
I swept up the receiver as though it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it at that exact moment. Doesn't have a voice. Is this my Maibara residence? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of a household? It was the voice of a middle-aged man. All my hopes rushed out of me.
いえ、違いますけど、親父に用なら呼んできます。
I went to put the receiver back down, but the caller stopped me hurriedly. Oh, no. If he's busy, then it's fine. This may be a strange question, but is my old man paying you a visit? A visit? Is he paying you a visit?
いえ、誰も来てませんけど。
I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late at night. Goodbye. Huh. Clack. I don't know who that was, but what if Shion tried to call while I was on the phone? I thought, bubbling with egotistic anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Keiichi Maibara. These are the selfish emotions that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we'd had our conversation and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Keiichi Maibara. If Shion does call again, then first apologize in a calm voice. If you do that, then Shion should understand. Right? However, no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night. Oh, that's the end. Ooh, more notes and late night phone call. Oh, tips. Huh. Close calls. The significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi, a festival for hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting in literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As with most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Watanagashi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit, but it is said that this feast for dissection was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I had thought that the residents of Watanagashi village were fascinated by the Watanagashi ritual. They looked down on those vulgar barbaric humans, cut them open like fish, and by eating them, they reaffirmed their own holiness. At least that's what I thought. However, if what the villagers gained from this ritual was not fascination, but fear, then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's the possibility that the executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own convenience. Watanagashi village has been effectively ruled over by three old families called the Three Families. Without investigating the three families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of Watanagashi village. So, one would be the Sonozaki, one would be the Furude. That's the shrine priestess, priest guys, family name. The three families. The three families refers to the three old families who effectively came to rule Watanagashi village. To break it down, there was the Kimiyoshi family. Ooh, that was the person who called. The Furude family and the Sonozaki family, and each of them still exists today. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The three families are considered by legend to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. The Kimiyoshi family. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the three families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Yoshichiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. The fact that the members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office even through popular elections in the post-war era. The Furude family. The center of the village's faith since ancient times, the Furude clan has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Oyashiro-sama for a long time, but the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power. It now consists of only the main house. The main house, as well, presently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furude, so the lineage may end in this generation. There is apparently an old tradition of honouring females of the Furude family, so the only daughter, Rika, is the subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. The Sonozaki family. It is said that this family had a certain police-like role of protecting the religious precepts of the Yonegafuji village. Of the three families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today, the Sonozaki family is flourishing. The state of affairs among the three families is completely reversed. Everyone now, even now, one could say they are in control of Hinamizawa. The three families conferring with each other is similar to the old way. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oryu, essentially decides all of the goings-on in the village by herself. The plot thickens.
「夜分遅くに失礼いたします。君吉と申しますが、ご主人でいらっしゃいますか？」はい。いえいえ、その節は本当にありがとうございます。それでですね。こんな時間に大変恐縮なのですが、うちのおじいちゃんがお邪魔してないかと思いまして。ですよね。はい。
Now that we can actually hear it, he does sound, rather than middle age, like kind of old.
こんな時間に申し訳ありませんでした。それでは失礼いたします。ごめんください。
Click.
どうだい？ダメ？
参ったな。どんなに熱中しても電話くらいはしてくれる人なんだけれどな。
But what?
囲碁の人の家は全部電話したんでしょ？
はい、君吉です。
園崎です。どうです？村長さんは見つかりましたか？
ああ、ミオンちゃんか。片っ端から電話をかけてみたけどダメだよ。
Has the mayor gone missing?
見つからないんだ。
Ooh.
参ったな。
Wait, what? But if it is the mayor that's gone missing, Mion doesn't seem to know, or at least she says that's what she claims. Oh, I just had a thought. The Sonozakis pretty much rule over the village now. The Furude's parents have died or gone missing. So out of the three families, that only really leaves the Kimiyoshi. Kimiyoshi might have disappeared. Is the Sonozakis like trying to get power, maybe? And getting rid of their opponents? To be the sole great family of the village? Otherwise, like if she doesn't know, then, and the mayor is one of the ones that goes missing, Perhaps, she isn't behind it?
どこで油を売ってるのかな。
こっちでも心当たりにいろいろと問い合わせましたけど、全然。
It does seem like he disappeared.
ばっちゃんにも相談したんですが、青年団を招集して探し回った方がいいだろうということです。
こんな時間にかい。それに別に行方不明になったと決まったわけでもないし。
綿流しの直後ですから、少し慎重に扱った方がいいとのことです。
So yeah, he might have disappeared.
それでも見つからないなら、明朝警察に通報しましょう。
In which case, maybe they aren't behind it?
見つかる見つからないは別にして、痛くない腹を探られない方がいいでしょうから。
おりょうさんがそう言ったのかい。
はい。直接声を聞かないと信用できないなら、電話先に出させますよ。
いえ、わかりました。青年団を集めて探しましょう。それで見つからなければ翌朝に警察に通報します。
青年団の連絡もよろしくお願いしますね。私もバッチャの代行ということでそちらに参ります。
Mion seems to be stepping up to the plate as well.
ありがとう。すぐにみんなを集めます。
ええ、では。
This is most interesting. This is fun. Yeah, that was the last one. So, back to the main story. For a bit. There was no way I'd be able to sleep. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, when my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms, though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time, I was pretty sure she wasn't calling me back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me.
寝ぼけてる場合じゃないぞ、前原圭一。
I slapped myself in the face a few times. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I usually didn't do. That wasn't enough either, so I even brushed my teeth. For horror, brushing his teeth! After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mum saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide.
どうしたの、圭一。今日はどこかにお出かけでもするの？
Oh, is it the day off, I'm guessing? Going somewhere?
うん。学校に。
It's a Saturday or something, maybe? Oh, no, okay.
圭一くん、なんだか今日も調子悪そう。
I was half expecting his mom to be like, but you don't have school today, huh?
やっぱり風邪かな。
風邪じゃなくて寝不足なんだ。寝ぼけてわけのわかんないことを言い出したらフォローよろしくな。
I don't like your laugh because I know what you're capable of. It makes me sad.
圭一くん、寝ぼけたらどんなこと喋り出すのかな。ちょっと楽しみかも。
I felt utterly shattered, and I still hadn't picked myself back up this morning. And for precisely that reason, Renner's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes.
よ、
You also... Oh yeah, because you were out searching.
圭ちゃんにレナ。おはよう。あれれ、みーちゃんもなんだか寝不足な感じだよ。
Mion had gone home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in shadow.
うん。寝たの3時ぐらいだからね。
Oof.
眠い。
3時？おいおい、夜更かしにも限度ってもんがあるぞ。
Says you.
大方漫画の単行本が面白くなっちゃって一巻から読破してしまったんだろう。俺にも経験があるぞ。
I joked, trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was trying to be considerate. However, neither Mion nor Rona smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention. Rona's expression immediately darkened.
あれ、ひょっとして村長さんのこと？まだ見つかってないの？
おい、ちょっと待ってくれ。村長さんが見つかってないって何の話だ？
Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today.
おはようございます、ケイチさん。聞きました？なんだか大変なことになりましたわね。
Thank you for the expositions, Toko.
俺はその村長さんって人をよく知らないんだが、ボケて徘徊してるだけじゃないのか？
Oof.
村長さんはボケてなんかいませんですわ。お習字も教えるし、剣道も教える、はつらつな方でございますの。
Ooh, impressive.
僕と同じで、きっとどこかで迷子なのですよ。
Huh? Like me? What? Oh, like yeah, she was saying she got lost, like in the festival itself, like earlier on or something. I don't remember. Something along those lines.
迷子いいね。
Yes, I mean, Lost Rika you might never see again because she'll be in Rona's basement.
お持ち帰り。
Yeah. Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika-chan do it. A worn-out old man getting lost doesn't know him in the slightest. While my mind entertained dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone rushed to their seats.
皆さん、おはようございます。
Good morning. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy.
すでに聞いている方もいるかもしれませんが、昨日の夜、村長さんが夜遅くになってもお家に帰ってこなかったのだそうです。皆さんの中で昨日村長さんを見た人はいますか？
One or two hands went up in the silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering among
もし
themselves.
も村長さんを見かけた人は大人の人に教えてあげてくださいね。それでは授業を始めます。
After that, the same old lessons began. The rumours, once quieted, blossomed into flowers once again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came up with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine's Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set, and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the centre of Hinamizawa. It was already late, and Hinamizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned and searched from the irrigation channels to the water wells, and even in the rice paddies, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. The police were going to wait for daylight, then have the young men of the town help search. But after all that, they still didn't find him. They were apparently even going to look in the mountains. Even now, at this moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they search in vain, and the more time passed, the only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumours of Watanagashi, of the demoning away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring every year? That scary possibility which everybody thought about but nobody could say aloud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, I knew. The curse did happen again this year. There were 2 people that died. This may be strange, but I hadn't exactly thought that the elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I should have been a higher priority than him, rather than Shion and I. Which sounds like a weird name, especially since it's a name and then 2 other words. But just ignore me. I'm tired. I'm just babbling on. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot into the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomitake-san and Takano-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been Mai and Shion's turn next.
今度こそ俺かシオンの番なのに。
You said that out loud. I laughed painfully to myself. I yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the first to go. Onikafuchi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police divers were plumbing its depths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onikafuchi, but not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish, bottomless swamp. Yeah, from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friend that in the classroom.
そういえば、サトシさんがいなくなったのも去年の今頃だったね。
Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was... Right, he disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly.
サトシさんの時も確かこんな風に村中で探したんじゃなかったっけ？あれも見つからなかったんだよね。あれって結局どうなったんだっけ？確か鬼隠しじゃなかったんだよね。
うん。貯金を全部下ろして家出しちゃったんだって聞いたよ。警察の人が名古屋駅で新幹線に乗るところを見た人がいるとか言ってたもん。
That was probably a lie, just to make things sound more reasonable than him disappearing. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons too. Yeah, like falling into a river. That was such a great reason to disappear. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason. But they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reason behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help resolve anything.
今日は味の加減を間違えちゃったみたいだね。
Please tell me that the seasoning this time does not include sewing needles.
ごめん。
Normally, Ren would have devoured her lunch immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though.
そんなことありませんのよ。レナさんのお弁当は今日もとっても美味でしたよ。
Satoko dips her chopstick into Rena's bento box and pulls bits of food, one after the other, out one after the other.
おいしいおいしい。今日も格別でしたよ。あれ、それかぼちゃのコロッケだよ。大丈夫？
She doesn't like pumpkin, does she?
レナさん
のかぼちゃならとっても美味しいですわ。
Reply? I don't know. Did Satoko dislike pumpkin? Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. Great recovery. That's what I was looking for. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Satoko kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was, rather. Not mark.
そんなにうまいなら俺もいただかないとな。このままじゃ全部サトコに食われちまう。
あんまりにも美味しいので、ぜひケイキさんにも召し上がってほしいですわね。
That doesn't make sense.
たまには俺も年上らしい寛大さを見せないとな。よし、遠慮するな。今日は俺の分まで食ってよし。
Oh, she really, really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face.
嘘だよ。そんなにうまいものを譲るほど大人にはなれないよ。レナも食え。俺のは夕べのおでんの残り物だが、おでんは一晩経ってからがうまいんだぜ。
Okay, that is cute.
お大根が綺麗な色に透き通ってて美味しそう。じゃあいただこうかな。
Renan reached out with her chopsticks, and at last the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. That was only at our desks, however. The dark tales of Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in this somber mood. Oyashiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last. What was Oyashiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad. Grr. So they were cursed. Grr. I would admit that much. Grr. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheeks to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood, so I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oyashiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target. What about the second most terrifying thought, that Shion could be the curse's next target?
しかしミオンは遅いな。あいつのお手洗いってこんなに長いのか？
Mion had said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet.
多分どっかでお昼寝してるんだと思う。夕べはきっと遅くまで村長さんを探すお手伝いをしてたんだと思うから。
I smiled dryly and let out a sigh. Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mare. It was just a no good day. I had just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one, rather. Maybe I do need to appreciate that.
村長さんはね、ちっちゃかった頃、みーちゃんのことをすごく可愛がってくれたんだって。
Maybe she demoned him away because she was upset that he no longer spoils her.
いたずら盛りのみーちゃんをすごく可愛がってくれたって。よく話してたな。
I see. Mion was in shock too. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew, though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downwards.
そういえばリカちゃんも遅いな。
Her parents...
ひょっとしてリカちゃんも仲良くお昼寝か？
リカはそんなに遅くまではお付き合いしませんでしたわ。リカがあくびをしたら皆さんみんなしておやすみなさいませ、おやすみなさいませって。
Now that she mentioned it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that?
リカちゃんって何気に年寄りのアイドルだな。理想の孫娘像ってやつなのか？
Okay, well, before we get back into shenanigans, it has been a long episode, so I'll leave it here for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you had in the comments, and until next time, see ya!